So let's get started with the native PHP. So let's start the native PHP and see, I have this window and this is really nice. It shows me the reminders I have added, and I have this menu where I have some shortcuts, some submenus, and I can just press Command R to open another window, and now I can communicate between these two windows. How is very simple. I can add like uh, go for walk, and now if I click on add, it should add that go for walk as a reminder on my another application or another window basically. So if I click on this, you can see now it's added, and it says that it will going to remind you in 59 seconds. That means in just 59 seconds we will going to get a notification at the top here which will show that hey, go for walk. That's kind of things is going to be available, and here it is. It's in 59 seconds we are having it, and reminder is eat breakfast, which is the old one, which is this one, and very soon we will also get for go for walk. So these kind of things we are going to create with the native PHP and learning and exploring the native PHP in very deep. So let's get started with the world of native PHP. Let's get started with native PHP. Now, what is native PHP? So you can create the desktop application with various tools. The most famous is Electron.js. So with the help of Electron.js, yes, you can build and create native application. That means a desktop application which will run on your Mac, on your Windows, on your Ubuntu, like that. But what about PHP? PHP is a backend language. It's a server language. You cannot create any like native thing for this. But with this, the native PHP, yes, you can do that. And it is created by the Beyond Code team, mainly with the Marcel. So let's just explore this native PHP to build amazing application for your desktop. First thing you need to do is obviously go to the native PHP, click on the get started. And if you want to learn more about the native PHP, here is the amazing documentation for you. But we want to get started. So it says that the installation is very simple. You first need to install this composer package. Wait, what? Composer package? Yes, so that means you need to first have a Laravel application, and on that Laravel application you are going to install this native PHP Electron composer package. So let's do that. So let's go to the terminal here, and I am on the desktop here. If you don't know how to install Laravel, you can just go the laravel.com, and once again inside this go to the documentation, and inside the documentation we have the installation and you can follow it. But for me it's very easy. I just have a Laravel installer, so I can say Laravel new, and here we go, the native PHP course. Hit enter, and it's going to create the fresh new Laravel application for you. Once this is done, we are going to cd into this native PHP package or native PHP folder actually, and then open this with VS Code. This is my favorite code editor. You can use anyone. The very first thing I always try to do is git init. Why? Because I need to track what are the changes I have done while adding any packages or doing anything. So I say let's get started with native PHP. Cool. So that's done. Now what's the next step? Remember, we need to install this composer require native PHP Electron. This is going to be interesting. So I'm just going to maximize the terminal and just hide this sidebar so that we can focus totally on what's going to happen here. So see, when I hit enter here, now, yes, it's installing the composer package in your Laravel application. But after it is done, you need to run this command, php native install. This is going to be really amazing because now it's going to install the npm dependencies for your application. But you will say, Sarthak, you said that we are going to use the PHP to create the native application. But I told you PHP is a backend language. So the contradict is not that thing. The real power behind the native PHP is still the Electron application. Basically, all of the Electron application and the PHP will be added to your final executable as a binary. So now whatever you are going to do in the PHP will eventually convert it to a Electron JS code, and that will actually runs and create your desktop application. But it doesn't feel like that. So I will just say yes, and it's going to fetch the dependency, install it, everything for you. So it's a little time consuming and we need to wait for this. And here we go. Everything is set for you. What you have to do is now start the native development server. And once you say yes here, it's going to do some magic and boom, you can see we are going to have a native PHP icon. Still it says Electron because I told you behind the scene it's all Electron JS, but here we can see we have a window. This is not the browser. I'm going to just minimize the terminal and you can see this is not a browser, it's a window application. And yes, it is now available on your computer. So the very first thing I can see is that this is a standalone application, and that's why you can see we have Laravel written here, which is basically the name of our application. Then we have about native PHP, and if I see it's native PHP, it says Laravel, and the version, basically this is a version of Electron JS. But if you see, oops, too much zoom. If you see, we can have about and view. These two menu are extremely important. Why? These are not just added directly, they are coded in the PHP. So let's first understand from where this window is appearing and how this page is coming, how the about and view things are there. This is extremely interesting and let's explore it. So remember, I told you everything is inside your Laravel application. But now I'm going to open the Git part and see that here we have 4 file changes. Composer lock. There is file called native app service provider, and then we have a native PHP configuration. So before moving to the native app service provider, I will open the native PHP configuration file, and it says that all the things needed for the native PHP. First is the version, then the app ID if you want to use it, deep link, author, provider, a lot of other things are there which we can change if we want. But the real power of this native application is this native app service provider. And one thing to note here, it's not the default kind of Laravel service provider. And see, any Laravel service provider extends the basic service provider. So if I now go on the providers and let's say route service provider, it's extending the service provider of Laravel. But this native app service provider is not extending anything. So it's just basically a PHP class. But here a very interesting things happening. Once the application boot or starts, we are defining some menu, and it says that we are creating some menu. Then there is an app menu, then sub menu, about, sub menu, view. Hey, this seems like we have heard about them. Yes, see, about and view. So when I click on the about, it has 2 links called Beyond Code and Simon Hamp. Let's see. Yes, cool. We have 2 links, Simon Hamp, Beyond Code. These 2 are here. So if I update it, what's going to happen? Update, save this, and I just saved it and it just focused me on the window. It has reloaded already, and here you can see we have beyond code updated. So this is how you start with the native PHP. But the very important thing is window. We are also defining the window. We are calling the open function and defining width and height. But I don't want to understand all these things. So what I want to do is I'm just going to remove everything, but instead of removing, I just comment it so that I can refer these code later on. So when I just comment it, it has nothing here. That means our native application is not available because there is no window. So how we start? As written here, or you can follow along with the documentation. You need to first start with a window. And if you want to understand the life cycle, that's also good for you. But I told you that everything starts on the native app service provider boot method. And here we go. So let's start a window. So I will use the window, and this time I'm going to use the facade, native Laravel facade window. This is very important. And then I will use the open function. And that's it. I'm not going to do anything. And you can see a very tiny window is now opened with the documentation and obviously the dev tool. This is interesting, but I want to dig more and see what are the options we have. Yes, you can go inside this the documentation, learn about each and everything, and we will do that. But once we have the code, we can dig into that. Now, to explore the window, we first need to open this and just press Control if you're on Windows, and if you're on macOS, press Command and then click on that window. It's a facade, and behind that facade, this is the class which we are using, Window Manager. So just close this, and here we are on the Window Manager. But this Window Manager uses the function which we have used, this open. And we can see that same function is available here. But what this function is doing, this is actually new up the pending open window class. So let's just open this class just by pressing once again Command and click. And it has opened another file. So I don't need Window Manager now. I just have this window.php. Okay, so this one is really interesting because once this is nude, once there is a new instance of this class, that time this constructor works. It's just going to set a ID. If not available, then it will give a default ID of main. Otherwise, if you can pass any ID, we will see what is the purpose of ID. Then it says there is a title, and title is coming from app name. So if I go to env, app name is Laravel, and which we can see here at the top and also here. So how we can change this? Everything you can configure. So you can find the title function somewhere which is going to set the title. This means we can go here and chain that function. So I can say, hey, give me the title function, and I will define title as my app, recommended by GitHub Copilot. So that's good. Let's go, and you can see once I save this, it re-rendered and focused the app, and cool, my app name is written here inside this window, and it still says Laravel. We will figure out later. But next is something else. So let's go once again on the constructor, and here it has URL and show dev tool. Whenever any window opens, this dev tool is already open, which is coming because our app debug is true. If I make it false, obviously that's not be available. But in your development, if you really want to do not show the dev tool, then search for the function which is setting the show dev tool variable or property of this class. Then just go and say once again chain show dev tool, and this time I'll make it false. So if I save this file, it automatically focused, and once here you can see there is no dev tool available, and our application is right here, the window is right here. Very nice. Okay, so next one is URL. Now, what is the base URL? Base URL is slash. Slash means there has to be a route. So if I open a route, here is the base URL of our application, and which is returning the view of welcome. Let me do one thing. Open a new terminal and start the basic Laravel server, and then if I open, you can see it's the page which we can see inside the window. So what I'm going to do, instead of returning welcome, let's return hello world, the classic thing, and that's done. I don't need this server, the normal Laravel server, so I will close it. And now if I see, not happen anything, because we need to re-render it. So I can just save this NativePHP service provider, and you can see now we have a hello world written here. This means whatever you want to load in your window, you can define a route, you can return a view, you can do anything in your Laravel application. That view will be available once you define it. Now, I just want to define another one, which is called, let's say, a get request of, test will also good, but this time I'll say hello world from test. Now, how we can open the window with the test page here? Once again, you can see URL is here, so there has to be a function to set the URL. So not found inside this file, but maybe available somewhere else. Yeah, has URL, and yeah, you can see this is a trait where we can set the URL. That's cool. So I can say, hey, set me a URL, but this time URL is exactly like this, localhost 8000/test. If I do this, nothing worked, because we need to start our local server like this. And then now you can see test hello world from test is there, but we don't want to start the local server. It's a native application, it should run by default. Yes, so instead of saying a URL, you can just define a route. So now instead of this, I can say, hey, there has to be a route with the name of test. So let's give a name of test and save this file, and boom, you can see without starting our local Laravel server, our page is here. Wow, we learned so much just by looking into the real window class, and we haven't looked into the documentation. This is powerful, really amazing thing. Okay, so these are the thing which we do by default, but there are more things. So you can set ID, title bar style, I don't know what it is, maybe styling thing, title bar hidden, you can hide it, most of the things. Remember state, what is this remember state? Let me show you. So if I just move this here and go and save this, it's re-rendered, and then the app is again at the center. I don't want to do this, so that's why I can say, hey, always remember state. Okay, if I save it, now you can see it's here. I can resize it, move it here, I can just reload, and boom, it's exactly at this place, and it's remembering the not just the position but also the size, whatever we have resized it. Cool. That's once again amazing thing. Frameless, I believe this is going to remove the frame. I have not tried it. Let's try it right now. Frameless, and see, wow, this is not having any frame. There is no outline. Amazing. I just used this first time. Cool, this is good. Now focusable, has shadow, a lot of things you can set. Okay, so these are really amazing things. But what if you want to define a proper size of this application? So here you can define the width and the height also. So there has to be width and height, and here we have the has dimension trait. Inside that we have a width, height we can set. Let's go and define the width and the height. So I say width is equal to, let's say, 500, and also the height. We are doing everything on our PHP, and we are really happy that these are available. Now it has not done these two things. Okay, so if I remove the frameless, it should have Laravel written here. So I believe after width and height, it's not taking these two functions. So I can move these function here. And what about now? Cool. So my app is back. There is no dev tool and it's having the resized. So what if I resize to 800? It's not doing it. Once again, something is not good here, which is maybe because of remember state. It's in the, yeah, I think that's the point, because this is just in alpha. So you can see it says this is in alpha, so there are glitches. So yeah, we need to deal with them. Cool. So you can also explore various other things written here, like full screen, kiosk, always on top, resizable. Everything is there and you can set each and everything. But as I told you, this is not just about one single window. I want to open two windows. So let's start, and I say, hey, I want to open a window, and that window has the title of second window. Okay, and that's it. Let's see what's going to happen. Why it's not opened new one? Remember I told you a concept of ID. So whenever any window opens, by default it get the ID of main. And the power of native PHP is that if the window with the ID is already available, it will not open another window of same ID. That's why if we really want to open another one, then we need to give another ID, and we can say second. That's simple. Yeah, so you can see it's still not there. Maybe I can just restart the server, and to restart server, before that we just had the installation. You can see we have PHP artisan native serve, and that's done, and it should open two window. It has not opened the two window. That's not good. Why? I don't know. Let's just add a route of let's say home. Okay, so home, and I need to define the home here. So let's say name is home, and window open. It's only opening only one window. That's bad. So let's try to remove all these things and see what's going to happen. And yes, now we have two windows, my app and second window. Cool. So I can just start by doing like this. What's going to happen now? Yes, once again we have, so everything comes up with the width and height. There is some issue with width and height. What if I open the second window first? Yep, you can see there's an issue with the height and the width. If you define it, everything is just ended. Nothing is going to work. So that's how you deal with the windows, and you can create more than one window right here, right now. Cool. Let's move forward to build something cool with native PHP. So I believe you have figured it out, and I have misspelled the height, and that's why it was making all that issue. And now you can see 800 by 800, and it's here the two windows and proper height is there. So that's the thing, and with this I say that there is no glitch. And sorry Marcel, sorry for this, your application is really amazing. Cool. So what next? What we want to do, let's just minimize this to once again 400. So yes, we have two windows, that's okay, but now we need to learn more about the menus. So once again, menus are here on this documentation. So we learn about the windows. Now it's time for the menu bar. So menu bar is different and application menu is different. So we are going to focus on the application menu more. So first of all, to define a menu, you just need to use the menu new. Okay, so let's do this. So first of all, I say menu, and once again it has to be this one, native Laravel menu, and we need to say I just want to new up this. What if I just say like this and do nothing? If I do this, you can see it's having file, edit, view, window, help. We don't want all these things. So I need to say, hey, first of all, just give me app menu. Once again, if I do this, you can see there is nothing changed. Why? Because whenever you do any menu thing, you finally need to register it. So once you register, then you will see that there is only app menu available. Now, what if I say something like edit menu? So I'm just going to give edit menu, but here we go. So it's written Laravel here and it's having edit menu, but this is not the good thing. So we should have the app menu and then we should have the edit menu. If I do that, you can see Laravel and then edit menu is there. So once again, how do we get to know about various menus? Yes, documentation is the good thing, but here we go. Let's open this file, and inside this file you will find that there's a register, new, prepend, sub menu, separator, quit, label, sorry, not label, this label, checkbox, event, various things are there. But now we have the app menu, we have the file menu, we have the edit menu. So these are the normal menu, which is kind of default things available. But what if you don't want to give any kind of menu, just app menu is enough, but you want to define your own menu? So in that case, you need to use a function called sub menu. So let's have this sub menu, and instead of this I just say sub menu, and I need to define the name of the menu. So I say my menu like this, but it needs second argument also. What is the second argument? It need another menu inside the sub menu, so it's like a chain. So once again, menu new, and this time I will say I need a label on that. Remember, there is a label thing like here. Okay, and here I can say my label. So let's just save this and go here, and you can see this time we have a new menu called my menu. If I click here, we have only one entry called my label. Good. So what I want to do here, I want to say add, and not just one thing, I want to add more menus. So one is label, another I want to say, hey, there has to be like quit, or we just have the quit already available. So we can say that, hey, I just need the quit like this. Okay, saved it, and this time if I now focus, you will see we have add and the quit obviously going to quit it. So if I click here, you can see our application is now quitted, so it's gone. So once again I need to restart the servers to get our application back. But one more thing I have seen here, when I was exploring the menu, I can see there is a separator thing. It seems like interesting. So see, first of all, when you go here on the Laravel, you can see there is a line below about NativePHP, and the line below this services like this, and here also. So how about adding a line below add? So what if I just say, hey, there is a menu, there's a label, but there is a separator now. If I do that, go, and boom, add is here, and now we have quit native PHP. Wow, that's great. So this is good. We have label. Now we can also have a checkbox. Wow, this is really going to be crazy. So let's have a checkbox. Let's see how this looks. But checkbox need something. So what it need first the label or what you want to call it, then boolean things. All these things are not required. So my checkbox, very descriptive name, but let's see. So here we go, and this is checkbox. It will either true or false. So see, when I click, it just turned to true, which is having check. Cool. So that's also good. Then you can add a link to another website. So instead of this, I can say link, and I can say bitfumes, and in the second argument I can provide I think the second argument has to be the text and first the URL. Okay, so first of all I can say, hey, https bitfumes.com. Cool. This time if I go here, you can see it says bitfumes, and when I click on this bitfumes, it actually opened the URL on my default browser. That's cool. So let's get back the VS Code, and this is interesting. What next? We have app menu, file menu, edit menu, view menu, window menu, toggle full screen. This is really interesting. So I always want to have toggle full screen, because this is what I always do. I just press my shortcut key to make it like full screen or not, and that shortcut key is already available. If shortcut key is available for the full screen for quit, can we add a shortcut key for this bitfumes? Let's see if there is any shortcut key available. So whenever you define anything, you can say the shortcut key. It's not written here, or maybe somewhere else it has to be. Okay, so that's not an issue, but here we go, and as a third parameter I can define the hotkey. It has to be there. Oh yeah, there has to be hotkey. Now if I open this link and hotkeys, how can they define? So maybe I can say hotkey. Okay, so it's not available. Let's just try it and see what's going to happen. Now I want to use command plus B. How about this? What's going to happen? So if I now go here and see that command B is here, and if I am on my window, I press command B, it has opened the bitfumes website. Wow, that's once again really interesting to see what this native PHP can do. But let's add this to our label. So what if I want to define something like this? So control or command shift A. Okay, so this is given here, but label cannot have any shortcut. Only links can have the hotkeys. Is there any other hotkey available? Yeah, on the checkbox, on the event. This is going to be really powerful thing on the event. I'm going to show this event because we want to create amazing thing. And what we want to create a reminder application, and this is like add reminder, and one window will be add reminder, and default window will be the showing all the reminders. So let's create this, and then we will see how we can use the event submenu or the menu item so that we can work on it. So first of all, what I want, instead of opening this second window, we want to open a second window when I click on this add reminder. So this will be like a new window to add a reminder kind of things. Let's do that. So how we can do that thing? So first of all, we need to use the event instead of label. So I say event, and when I use the event, that basically mean that you can emit a Laravel event. That's the basic thing. Okay, so let's create a normal event, and I say php make event, and I say add reminder event. Okay, or maybe add reminder event, like that. This is more descriptive. I always try to add the descriptive name. Okay, so first of all, you need to define the name or define the class of your event which you want to emit once you click. Second is the name of that menu, so right here. And third, you can also define the shortcut key. So here it's going to be add new reminder, so control or command R. So if I say command R, this is actually going to open a new event or emitting a new event. But how do we verify that event is really emitted? So we can go into the event, and we have this constructor, or here I can simply say die-dump, or maybe instead of die-dump I can say just log with log debug, and I say message from open add reminder event. Now let's open the Laravel log, clear it out, and now let's try to do this. Click on add reminder, there has to be, and boom, you can see debug message from open add reminder event. Cool. So this means this is working, this event is really emitted. But how do we listen for this event? Yes, you can create a new listener for this, and then open your event service provider of Laravel, and then register your event and listener. Or you can directly listen like here. So event listen for open reminder like this, and GitHub Copilot helped me a lot. And now it says that, hey, yes, once you open that, then open a new window called add reminder. Give the title of add reminder. The route will be add reminder. Width and height will be like this. But remember, we don't have any route called add reminder. So save this file and open the web. And here I'm going to create a get request of add reminder with a closure, and this is just going to return a simple string right now. Okay, everything is done, and let's see what's going to happen when I click on that, or maybe I can just use my shortcut. So command R, and you can see add reminder is here. Cool. I also want to remember the state of this add reminder, so I just say remember state like this. Okay, so I just close it. Close button is not working for that, so maybe I can just click on close, and then once again say command R, and yeah, so that's good. I don't want any dev tool, so show dev tool as false, and once again close it, open it. Yes, it's good. So here we have everything available, and this is how you work with the event inside our application. So let's just get rid of this second window. So I just open here, get rid of this second window, so that there always be a simple normal my app window, and I call it all reminder app. Okay, that's good. So it's a reminder app. I will open it, it has opened a new window which is saying add reminder. Good. So that's good, and everything is done. What next? Next is, whenever I do something on the add event, it should be reflected on the reminder app. So there has to be communication between these two windows. How we can do that? So first of all, we need to do something here on this so that we can emit some event and then listen that event here. For that, I will need two things. One is Laravel Livewire and second is Tailwind CSS. Let's install both and then we will move forward. So first of all, Laravel Livewire. So Laravel Livewire is here. Go here and we need the documentation. And why it's not moving to the documentation? So here we go, the new Livewire 3 is here. It is still in beta, but don't worry, we can use it. So let's get that and install it. While this is installing, we can see the next one is we need to create a new Livewire component. We can use this and we call it reminders, which is the one for reminders, and another one add reminder. Okay, so that's done, which we have added. Next is Tailwind CSS. So Tailwind CSS is here. We need to get started. Go to the framework, go to the Laravel and copy these two, paste it here. And one more, we need to add these things on the Tailwind config once this is available here. So everything is done. Tailwind config is here. Replace it like this. And finally, we need to add these three on our app CSS. Great. And then we can just say npm run dev. But before that, we need to add this thing. Or maybe we can go to the Laravel and search for white. And let's get started with this. So installation is done and everything is good. So it says that you need to import the CSS on your JS. So instead of bootstrap, just import the CSS, and then on your file you need to just add these things, just the white. So let's open the views, welcome.blade.php. I'm going to remove everything, and maybe I can just say, not there, I say layouts, and inside that I will create app.blade.php. have it like this. Cool. Reminder, and that's good. And I don't want to change anything on here. Okay, so that's done with the Tailwind CSS. Let's get back to the Livewire. It says that whenever you want to do something, you need to add some things like here. So first of all, you need to add this slot here so that you can use it on your layout app.blade.php. So here we are, slot is there, and that's it, I think. Yeah, so maybe we can just remove the reminder thing, and cool. So we are done with this, but now what we need the component to be used as a route view. So how do we do that? So I can say full page component. You define a route and then you pass out the component like this. So instead of this instead of this add reminder returning this closure, I just say, hey, add reminder is a component, use that component. Similar to this add reminder, instead of using test, I say reminders, and then I say reminders is once again a class, or use this name. So this will be reminders. Okay, and now let's see. Reminders is here. Show dev tool is false, but still showing that. Maybe I can just quit it and then restart like this and see what's going to happen. Okay, so it should be there, but it's not opening. So what happened here? Okay, so reminders has to be there, not the reminder. So now it will work. Good. Now it says livewire component layout view not found. So it says layouts.app not found. So layouts.app. What happened here? Okay, so it has to be inside the component, not inside the view. So we need to create the components and then layouts like this, and now save it. It says now manifest is not there. That means we need to run the npm run dev. So I say npm run dev, and it's going to run the npm run dev, and very soon we will have that. So let's close it, save once again, and yeah, this is blank because all our reminder is not having it. So reminders, and that's good, and here we call it add reminders. Okay, so Control R, add reminder is there. That's good, and let's just close it. Everything is there. Very nice. Cool. So let's start with the communication between these two components or these two windows. To have a communication between these two windows, first of all, we need a button here on the add reminder to add a new reminder. Very basic thing. So first of all, I will open the layout. So open the layout here, and then I will put the layout, the slot in flex, justify center, height of screen, and then another one with a class of margin auto, so that whatever is there will be at the center like this. Okay, so that's done, and now I save it. Then I will go to our livewire of add reminder. Here I say yes, add reminder, but inside a h1 tag, and I will say text of 2xl. Then here I will have a simple button which say add new, or maybe just add reminder, or maybe submit, or just add. I don't know, let's just try it. So padding y of 2, padding x of 3 maybe, then rounded medium, and background is purple, let's say 500, and when I focus on it, then hover on it. When I hover on it, then I want bg purple of 700 and text of white. Is this going to be good? Yeah, it's okay. Not bad, not that amazing, but it's good. Let's have a width of 28 so that it's like this. Cool. So when I click here, it should do something on this. So first of all, we need to either submit this as a form, but we are using live wire, so we have an ability to use the wire click, and then I say add. So this is the function which will be triggered when I click here. So we can go to our app, live wire, add reminder, and here let's create a function called add. And right now it's not returning anything, but dump something so that we can verify it's working. So click, and yeah, we have this working. That's really nice. But what I want is to move something, or something should happen on the reminders window, which is this one. For that, we need to emit an event, or basically we just say settings. So there is a settings thing in NativePHP, which is you can set. So I say set reminder, or I can say what about just the count? So I'm going to set a count as random. So I say rand command between 1 and 100. So every time I set, it's going to be different command. Why I'm using this, I will tell you very soon. So right now, whenever I click on add, it's just going to do something and setting the count value a random number on the NativePHP setting. So whenever there is something happening on the settings, if I open the Laravel log, you will find that there is an event will trigger called setting changed. This is the event always going to be triggered whenever there is a change in the setting, and that's why I took a random number, so that every time I click, it just set or it just change the value of count inside the settings. Wow, that's good. So what next? Since we are having this and it's emitting the event, we can listen this event on our reminders component. So here it's normal, you can say livewire thing. So I say protected listener, and this time it's not going to be like this. It's going to be, let me show you what I want is, I will say, hey, I have a setting changed event, and whenever this event occur, I just want to have increment function. So I just create a increment function which return nothing, but let's create a public count variable and initialize it with 0. And inside this increment, I will say, hey, this count plus plus. Okay, so that's going to increment the value of the count on our reminders, another window. Okay, so let's just use this one. So I say $count because this is a normal thing. So see, add, it's 0, so it should increment the 0. Click on add. Oh, it's not doing. What happened? Remember, whenever you are using NativePHP, you want this to be real time. Although it is happening, it's doing things, but it's not listening in the real time. For that, you need to prefix this with native and colon. So native dot, if I prefix like this, then if I see, still it's not working. Maybe I need to rerun it by just doing like this. So that's good, and I need to start a new one. Click. It's not doing anything. But what we can verify is, if I just die dump here and try to see. Okay, so even die dump is not working. That means it's not even listening for settings changed event. Okay, so how do we verify that it's working or not? So I just figured out that I'm using Livewire 3, which is the newest version. But what if I use the Livewire 2? This will going to work with Livewire 2. But again, if we are using Livewire 2, we need to make some changes in our Livewire things. So first of all, this layout will be out of this component. so there will be no components like this. So here we go, and then I need to make sure this livewire folder will be inside the HTTP, because in livewire 2 it's like this. So then app HTTP and then livewire. So same with this app HTTP and livewire. So now the final thing is here we need to make sure this is also HTTP livewire. And then if I now restart my NativePHP, and very soon you will find that yes, we have this. And if I now open it, click here, you can see here it's working. That's great. So since it's working here, so I can go on the reminders and remove it, and it should increment the value. So click, and yes, you can see it's incrementing the value. Now instead of incrementing, we can set the value from the settings. So settings, I need to get the count. So this time I will click, and it will give me random numbers between 0 and 1000, which is showing that this communication between the windows are working. What is the final thing? We need a text box here where we should add the reminder, and that should be reflected here. That seems like a very simple thing. So first of all, go to add reminder, and here I'm going to have a simple input field where we should have a simple class, padding y of 3, padding x of 4, rounded medium, and then I will say this is going to be wire of model, and I say reminder. Okay, so let's self close this tag, and I need the border also, so let's have the border. Cool, so that's good, and I need to write it something. So first of all, let's have a placeholder. Write your reminder here. Cool, yeah. So we need to add it here, and I say complete NativePHP, but it's not doing because we are doing the live wire model of the reminder. So let's go to the reminders, and here instead of count, I just create a new variable called reminder, and this is going to be empty. And when there is some change, I say reminder and getting from the reminder, and at that time I just need to go on add reminder, and when I add the reminder, instead of wait, I did something wrong. So I'm on the add reminder, so I need to create the reminder variable here, or the property if you want, and then I need to, when I click on add, it should set reminder value with the reminder we have here. So first of all, it should work with the whatever we write here. So it's now says that data when trying to hydrate, add reminder. So why is that? So public reminder. So what's happening? So it is reminder, and wire model is reminder. So maybe I can restart and see what happened. So I don't have the count variable, so that's because of this. Got it. So if I write something, seems like it's writing. So complete NativePHP course. That's good. Now when I click on add, this is the add, it is setting the reminder property of the setting to the reminder. Now I can go to the reminders component, and I'm listening for the change, and instead of this increment, I change the function name to add new. Okay, and then here I say reminders, which is an empty array, and now I say reminders setting get reminder. Okay, let's see if this is going to work or not. So click add. I need to restart my window. Okay, so now this time it's going to be interesting. Once again, it's asking for, because on the reminder blade I'm using this instead of this, I say reminders, or maybe I can use the for each loop. So for each reminders as reminder like this. Okay, so every time I have to spell it right. Good. So this is good. Go here. Hey, add. It says must be object, it's given string. So what I have to do, I have to push it into the array. Okay, so once again, let's get back, click on add. It's not adding. That's bad. So maybe I can check it why it's not adding. Remember, we need the change event. So every time we are adding, we need to have a change. So hey is here, then hi is here. That's good, we are doing it right. But what if we again say add? It's not doing anything because this is filled, and once we add it, we just need to say this arrow reminder is equal to maybe null we can provide, or empty array, if empty string. That's good. So this is how it's working, and make sure this will be in p tag so that it will be in one line. So I say hi, hit enter, it's there. Something else. So it's there and it's now empty. That's how it is working. But what if I just say once again ASDF? ASDF, it's not adding ASDF because there is no change in the setting. So this means what we have to do, once we add the reminder from this setting, I can say settings dot, is it any clear, or set, maybe setting reminder to once again empty string. Okay, so when there is an empty string, there's nothing happening. But when I say hello, click add, it's added. When I say hello, this also going to be added. Cool. So this is how we add the reminder, or basically you add it whatever you want. It could be a chat application, and it could be a simple reminder application, whatever you want. So let's have a text to Excel. Okay, so that seems like good. And what next? What we want is, yes, we are communicating between two things, but I want to add these into our database so that we can remember what we are doing, and we will not get lost with the data once we close the application. Since now the window communication is working fine, we need to add it to the database. So how we use the database in NativePHP? So let's go to the databases, and here we have the database, and we have to use the SQLite database. And this is all Laravel thing, nothing fancy, new, or something natively thing here. So let's just open the .env file, comment everything, and change it to SQLite. The connection is SQLite. Next, open the config, go to the database, search for SQLite, and make sure the database path is database.sqlite. But if I open the database directory, NativePHP by default add this nativephp.sqlite. You can either use it or you create your own, but I am good with NativePHP.SQLite. So this is the file, or this is the SQLite database I'm going to use. Save this. That's good. Now what next? We need to store the reminders. So we need a model. So PHP Artisan make model reminder, and I'm going to create all of these things. So it has created ton of things for us, but what we are interested in is this reminders migration. So I say table, and table string of reminder, and anything else, time, obviously the date of date time date time, yeah, date time will be good. So created, not created, actually it should be like when you want to notify, like this. So date time is when. So these two things are really good. If you want, you can add more like description things. That's cool. So this is very simple thing, and what we need next, we just need to run the migration. PHP Artisan migrate, and it has migrated all of these things along with the users table. Everything is in our NativePHP.SQLite file. So what next? Remember, we have two applications, two windows. Now inside this window, the reminders, I'm going to actually do one thing. So first of all, let's go to the reminders component here on the mount part. So let's create a function called mount. In this, I say this dot reminders is equal to reminder all, like this. Okay, this is simple. This is not fancy. This is just Laravel thing. What next? Once we are done with this, then instead of adding it as an array, we need to create a new reminder. So first of all, I say reminder is, yes, we are getting with the setting like this. Then I say, hey, reminder create when, it should be nullable actually, or maybe let's keep it like this. Add 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, I want this reminder to be like notify me. Once this is done, then what we need to do next, we need to update this reminder. So reminder all. That's good. So this is how we are doing it. Simple. Everything is very simple. Add reminder is still doing its job. It's just emitting the event from this with the value of reminder, and that's it. All the things is inside the reminders component. Let's try it. So if I say hey, and if I click on add, now it says that that's okay, but reminder is not fillable property. So here I say protected, fillable is these two, or you can use the guarded. One more time, I say first reminder, click on add. Oh yeah, you can see that's there. So I can just use reminders, and instead of this I can say reminder. Yep. If you want, you can also say like when it is created. So in a small tag, I can say created at, so reminder created at diff for humans. That's good. And you can see created at 34 seconds ago. So why it is showing 2 times? I don't know. So this is bad actually. This is showing 2 times, which is oh, so I need to remove this created at. It's just like this, but it's still it's showing 2 times. What? Why is that? So yes, first of all, it was empty, so that's why. So maybe you can remove it, or just do PHP Artisan migrate fresh, so that there will be no reminders. And now if I add first reminder hit on add, you can see it has first reminder, and there is two actually. Always there is two. That's not good. So I can open the PHP Tinker and reminder all. So I need to say app models reminder all. So there is only one. No, there is two. One is empty. So the issue is somewhere in our application. So here it's actually creating 2 times. Why 2 times? So maybe this event is listened by 2 times and it's creating 2 times. So what we can do here, we can create any kind of validation if you want. You can do that. It's up to you. Or you can do one thing more. You can just say, hey, I have created it. That's okay. But I want to create that here. Now, what will be the benefit? It's just like whenever you are clicking on the add, it just creates the reminder. Now we need to define, or we need to tell that, hey, reminder is new reminder is added. So I can say reminder count is reminder count. In that case, I don't have to do anything here like this. I just say, like, whenever there's a change, I need to remind it like this, and no need to do anything else. That's okay. So finally, once again, refresh the database. Say first reminder just for the change, and yeah, only one is created. Cool. So first reminder is here, and this is how we are doing it. The best part here, since it's all in database, I kill the application, restart the application, and you can see that my application will remember the reminders because these are reminder. Okay, that's good. So we need to also define like when it will be remind you. So remind you in, so we need the difference like when. So diff for human. So diff for human is not working on the when, because when is not a timestamp. So maybe I can cast, if this cast will going to work. Casts is when is date time. It should be the instance of, okay, so it's not working. Maybe what I can do is I can have the difference from now. So yeah, remind you in 3 minutes from now. Good one. This is good. So it's going to remind you in 3 minutes from now. So what's going to happen when this is reminding? So it says like it's going to remind you in 0 minute, like that. So in that case, we should emit a notification that, hey, there is a reminder kind of thing. How we can do that? So first of all, let's add a new reminder. But before that, what we want, once the reminder is come to the real timing, it should give me a notification. So how the notification works in NativePHP? So let's go to the notification, and it's very easy. Use the notification facade from native and show it like this. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new command, make command, and I will call this command show reminder notification command. Little weird name, but that's how it works. Show reminder notification command, and I will just say notify reminder. I believe this will be the good name. Anyways, app notify reminder will be the command which is going to work. So you can add description if you want, but for me it's okay. Now I'm going to use this native facade, and it says the hello from NativePHP. Instead of this, we can take anything, but now let's run this command and see how this is going to work. App notification reminder. Okay, let's hit enter and nothing happened, but it will work. So what I'm going to do, I will go on the add reminder, and instead of doing all these things, I will just put the notification and see how this looks. So I just added, open a new one, click on add, and you can see this is how it works. Like this. If I cancel it, it's working. Make sure you have the notifications on for your Electron application. This is really important to have it, otherwise it will not going to work. Okay, so once we are done with this, so let's get back, and what I'm going to do, I will go to the kernel console, and here I'm going to run my command. So if I do this and I say this is every second or every 10 second, okay, so this is the power of Laravel now, so it will be running. So you can see it says running command, and you can see now we have that notification once again every 10 seconds. That means it will be available very soon, once again the notification, so it will be available. Okay, anyways, so here we are doing notification reminder. So what we have to do, we need to run this notification reminder only when we are having any reminder at that particular time. So how we do that? By the way, it should have run it again. It's not running it. That's a little issue, but we can check that why it's not working. So we can just try to log and say debug and have some message like this. Go to the Laravel log, clear it out, and every 10 seconds it should be available like this. So log is there, and here we have the notification also. So once again, after new 10 seconds, this is available, but notification is not polling every 10 seconds. Maybe it could be like every minute. So maybe that's good, but let's convert this to every minute. Now what's going to happen now? First of all, I need to get all the reminders. So reminders where timing or when is where when is equal to I can say equal to, not less than or equal to, so let's keep it like this. So when is either less or exactly equal to the current timing, so then it will going to work. So you can see it's giving the notification, but I'll now say, hey, there are reminders, and for each of the reminder I will do one thing is I will put the notification, and I say this is to remind you that your reminder and the reminder is due. This is to remind you like this. Okay, so that's good. Finally, we are done with this, and this is now going to send a notification only when the notification is available for that. So maybe I can go with the now thing. So just to try, I will say add minutes, only 1 minute, and then I'm going to add a new reminder in our application. Say eat breakfast, add. So it should be added. There is some issue with our Electron application, so that will be there, but now it says it will be available in 49 seconds. That's good. So we need to just wait for some time, and it will be sure give us a notification here. A simple update I have to done is remove this and make sure it is less than and equal to now. And if you want to just check what is happening there, you can just debug and log the reminders like this, and then we can just go on log, clear it out, and once this is going to match something, it will be available here on the log, and then we should see our notification. So let's wait for this to complete, and you can see we are getting lot of this reminders, but it should also have the notification. Boom, notification is here. That means our application is working absolutely fine. Your reminder, and it should give the reminder title, but we don't have the reminder title, we have the reminder, so like that. Okay, so this is how it basically works, and we have learned various things in native PHP. Everything is so smooth, everything with the PHP. So it's time to finally commit it, the notification, and what we need to do, we need to build it. So PHP artisan, and if I search for native things, so there are various things, but we have a native build. Okay, so let's do that. So native, and then we need to also define the Mac OS or Windows where we want to have the build. So we can also give like Mac, and what if I say Mac OS? What is going to say? It says that you can either run Mac, Mac ARM, or Mac 86. So let's run for Mac ARM. So let's try this, and it's going to do a lot of amazing things, and if everything is right, it will going to build an executable for you. That's final for this native PHP course from Bitfumes. If you like this, please share this video with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Bitfumes YouTube channel. I'm your host Sarthak, signing off. See you in the next video.